Hello, I've prepared this video as a brief introduction to get you started using NYU Classes, our online course management system. NYU Classes is a place where you can send messages to your students, upload course materials such as your syllabus, articles, book chapters, and links to online resources, as well as being able to create assignments for your students. There are a variety of other tools available, and how you use NYU Classes is totally up to you, but we do require that at a minimum you have an active site with your syllabus posted there. We'll start with how to get to NYU Classes and how to activate your course site. Feel free to pause the video whenever needed to follow along on your own. You'll begin by logging into the NYU homepage at globalhome.nyu.edu using your NetID and password, which will take you to this page. And once you're in, click on Academics on the left, and you may have to click on Load More until you see NYU Classes, which is here. And once you find it, just click on Go. This will take you to the home page of NYU Classes. If you haven't activated your course site yet, you'll only see this one Home tab on the top left, and any other sites you are a member of would appear here alongside of it. Under this Home tab, you'll see announcements on what's new in NYU Classes, as well as some links below for other NYU training resources. Assuming you haven't set up your course site yet, that's the first thing you'll need to do. From this menu on the left, click on Set Up Course Sites. Choose the term and click Continue. My screen looks a little bit crazy because I'm a member of all of the Wagner course sites, but when you go to this screen, you'll only see a listing for your own course or courses. So click on the name of the course. I'll use this one for an example. Select the checkbox that pops up beneath it. And most of you will only see one option under here. But if your course has multiple sections, these will all be listed underneath, like this example. If that's the case and you want to combine all of your sections into one site, which you likely will, you can select all the checkboxes before moving on. It's possible that you might have a Wagner course that's cross-listed, for example, at another NYU school, such as the College of Global Public Health, and if that's the case, you would want to select any multiple checkboxes to combine those rosters into one site before you continue. Once you've made your selection, down at the bottom, just click Continue. Here on the screen, you can change the default name of your NYU Classes site if you'd like. You can always change that later if you need to. My recommendation would be to add the term in front of it, such as Fall 18 Intro to Public Policy, or whatever your course is called. If you're teaching a capstone course, I would recommend naming it by the term, course number, and section. The reason I suggest this is that a lot of the capstones have longer names that are similar to each other and often multiple sections, and naming it this way will make it easier for us to identify your site if you need assistance from someone on the Wagner faculty support team. So I would name this one, for example, Fall 18 Cap GP 3128.001. And when you're satisfied with the name, click Create Site. And after a few seconds, you'll see a confirmation message, and you can click on Go to your new site. You'll see that the tab for the site you just created now appears here at the top. And in the future, when you log into NYU Classes, you can just click on this tab for your course site. You won't really use this Home tab much anymore beyond when you first create your site. You'll notice along the top of the page that it says Unpublished Site. This means that it's not at all visible to your students yet, so you can work on setting up your site, and then whenever you have it ready to go live, just click the Publish Now button here. Some people choose to wait until the entire site is finished before publishing, while others may publish it as soon as they have their syllabus up, and then continue to work on it from there. We just ask that you have your site published with your syllabus posted at least 2 weeks before classes begin. When you first get to your site, you'll be on this overview page, which you can see from this menu on the left. Here under site information, it has a description of the course that's just pulled from the registrar's listing. If you'd like, you can edit this by clicking Edit here, making changes in this text box, and then when you're done, click Update Options. Most instructors don't tend to make changes to this page, but you're certainly welcome to. Also on the overview page, which is basically the home page of your class's site, you'll see a section for recent announcements, which I'll get to later, and this calendar. The calendar is also something that's rarely used, but if you do create assignments through the class site, and then any due dates from that will populate into the calendar. So there are various tools from this menu on the left. Let's start with the syllabus tool, since that's the most basic thing we ask you to do with NYU classes. Once you've created your syllabus on your own, and we'll provide you with a template for that, this is where you will be posting it. So you'll just click on Add, give it a title, like Syllabus. I would ignore this text box here beneath, and instead just click Add Attachments. Then choose a file, find the file you want. Don't know if there's any on this computer here that I can choose from, but if there were, I would choose it. Click Continue, and then at the bottom, click Add and Publish. If you want to post an updated version of your syllabus at a later time, you can click on this icon over here to edit. Click Remove to delete the old one, and then click Add Attachments again and post the updated version. So that's basically the syllabus tool, pretty simple. The next most commonly used tool is Messages. Here you can click on Compose Message, and then click on the To field here to select recipients. Normally you'll probably be choosing all students in this site. I don't have students in my site, so it doesn't show up, but you will have an option that says all students in this site, or you can select individual names. Give it a subject like you would any email. You can enter your message in this text box. You can add attachments if you'd like also, and then just click Send. When you send a message from NYU classes, the students will receive it in their NYU Gmail account. And if they reply to that message, it will go to your NYU Gmail account. So you don't have to use this NYU classes messages tool to check any messages. It's just a convenient way to message your entire class or individual students. Now I'll talk a little about announcements and why you might choose to use announcements instead of messages. When you create an announcement, it will remain here on the overview page in the recent announcements section. The advantage of this might be if you're creating a welcome to the class kind of message before the class has actually started, and that way if someone enrolls in your course after you've created this message, they would still be able to see it on the overview page when they go to the site. Instructors often use this message to alert students to things they might need to be prepared for prior to the first class, such as any readings you'd like them to have done beforehand or anything else you'd like them to be prepared for. So if you go to the Announcements tool, you can click Add. You would create a message in much the same way that you would create an email message that I showed you before. Welcome to the class. Hello. And then you can add attachments to this also, to announcements if you'd like. And then click Post Announcement. This message will go also as an email to any students that are currently enrolled, so they won't have to come here to find it by accident. But it will be there, as I said, for anyone who happens to enroll after this. So now if I go to the overview page, I'll see there's a welcome to the class message over here. The next tool that you're most likely to use would be Resources. This is a folder where you can post materials for your class. So just a quick note on fair use while we're on the topic of resources. If you were only going to use a chapter or two out of a book, it's perfectly okay for us to scan those chapters and post them here. But if you plan on using a significant portion of a work, then the students will need to purchase that. If you have materials you'd like scanned, your faculty support person can assist you with that. Some instructors also use case studies in their courses, and those almost always have to be purchased, particularly those that come from Harvard Business School. But there is a way to create an online course pack for those, and then you can provide a link to your students where they can purchase those directly at a discounted rate. And if this applies to you, your faculty support person can give you more information on how to set that up. But getting back to resources, at first you'll just see this one empty folder here. Most tasks in the Resources tool are accomplished through this Actions drop-down menu. Here you can upload files, create folders, add web links, copy and paste things, move things to the trash. A lot of these things you probably won't ever use, but upload files, create folders, add web links, those are fairly common. A common way that instructors organize their resources folder is by creating subfolders for each course session, especially if you have a lot of materials, so they're not all just in one big folder. So you can click on that Actions menu, choose Create Folders, and then give them a name. You can also do multiple folders at once, like this. So I could say Class 1, Class 2, Class 3, Class 4, etc. And then click Create Folders Now, and you'll see you have these new folders here. And now each of these folders, and this will be the case with any folder or file here, has its own little Actions drop-down menu to the right. So from these menus, within this folder, Class 1 folder, then I could choose Upload Files and choose a file to upload. And you'll notice at the bottom of this file upload window, there's this email notification section. If you were to choose this, say, hi, all participants, then when I click continue and upload this file, it will also send an email notification to your class that a resource has been added to such and such folder. And that can be a useful option if you add something, say, like a day or two before your class that wasn't originally on your syllabus, and you want the students to be aware of it. So if I do this, then now, if I expand Class 1, I'll see this item underneath. Items within resources, actually items or folders within resources, can also be hidden. For example, if you have solutions to homework that you don't want them to see yet, you can select an item or a folder and click Hide up here. You'll notice now that the name of that file or folder is grayed out. Anything that's grayed out on your site is not visible to students. So for example, even in this menu on the left, you can see the settings tool is grayed out because students can't see or alter the settings from the site. And if you want to show the item again, just select it and click Show. And now it's available again. You can also delete an item or a folder by selecting it and choose Move to Trash. Then those items will be up in this trash folder here, where you could restore them at any time. They'll always stay there. There are a variety of other options within resources you can use, but those are the most common things that you'll need to go to get up and running. The last thing I'll talk about is the Assignments tool. Some people may just list assignments on their syllabus and have students complete them and hand in a hard copy, which is perfectly fine and up to you. But this tool will allow you to have students submit your assignments and papers electronically, and also gives you the ability to run their work through Turnitin, which is an anti-plagiarism tool. So if you click on Add to create an assignment, give it a title, Assignment 1, then you have to choose the dates that it's available, the date it's due, and the date you'll accept it until, in case you're willing to accept assignments beyond the due date. You select the grade scale you'll be using. Let's say points. It's worth 100, no, not 10,000. It's worth 100 points. Put in instructions for the assignment here. This is a required field, so even if you're just referring to something in the syllabus, you could say see syllabus. Then down here, select use Turnitin, and we highly recommend that you do this because if you suspect that there's some kind of an issue after the fact, it's harder to go back and run something through Turnitin. The default options that pop up when you choose this are all fine, and then you can just click Post. I know that I'm skipping over a lot of options you saw in this assignment creation screen, but there are really too many to cover in one video, and most of them are things you will never need, so I'm just trying to stick to the basics here. But your faculty support person can help you with any questions you have about the process or direct you to other training materials. So now you'll see, after you've posted it, that the assignment shows up here. I don't have any real submissions here to show you, and I can't use student assignments from another existing course because of FERPA guidelines, but basically, once the students have made their submissions, you'll be able to click on Grade here, and you'll see a list of student names in this section here. And if you've used the Turnitin feature, you'll also see a column that has color-coded flags next to it. And if you were to see a red flag, for example, you could click on that, and it would take you to a report of where Turnitin is finding possible matches that could indicate a problem. For the basic grading process, you'll be able to click on each student's name here, and then you can download their attached submission, enter a grade for them, etc. If you are going to use the assignments tool, we can definitely help you go through these options, but I'm just trying to give you an overview here of the most basic, most common uses for NYU classes, although there is a lot more that you can do with it if you're interested. If there are other needs you have, then you can contact your faculty support person and they can assist you. There is a grade book you'll see over here in NYU classes, but it is not where your official final course grades have to be entered. That would be through Albert, and the gradebook setup is a little too complicated to cover in this short video. If you're interested in using it though, your faculty support person will be happy to help you, or you can use other online help resources. Speaking of which, every page in NYU classes has a help for this tool box in the upper right hand corner, and it's specific to whatever page you're on. So if I click on this, it will take me to knowledge base articles about the gradebook. This one even has a video about using the new gradebook, how to get started with it. So any page you're on will take you to a similar page, and there are quite a few good resources available. So hopefully this has been informative enough that you'll now be able to start working on your NYU classes site, but don't hesitate to contact your faculty support person with any questions that you may have. And thank you for watching.